Hi everyone, I'm Stephanie Fleck. I'm the owner and lead wedding planner at Party Girl Events based out of Vail, Colorado.
And I'm Kacee Picot with CKaceeGo, and I do hair and makeup for weddings and special events.
And today we're going to talk all about hair and makeup for your wedding, and Kacee is here to answer all of our questions.
Thanks so much for asking me to do this.
Thanks for coming.
This is so exciting.
Thank you.
Yay.
First question I have,
Yes,
that I know everyone else also has, what's the difference between wedding hair and makeup and like normal everyday hair and makeup?
normal everyday makeup. If you were to go into a store, even if it's a makeup, like a makeup store or a specific line, depending on the lighting in that store, it may or may not match your skin tone. It might match it really well in the store, but when you get in your car and you put it on, sometimes it's different. By sometimes I mean it's always different, right? So if people come and they ask for me to use their foundation, I'll take a look at it. If it's a professional foundation and it's real similar to what I would use, sometimes I'll use it. I try not to. I try to use what I know is in my kit because I know how my products are going to behave with each other, right? And the biggest thing is, if you're like me, I do an airbrush tan, but I don't put it on my face because I've got large pores. So an airbrush tan on my face with large pores makes it look like the surface of the moon. So that means that my body is tan and my face is white.
Yeah.
So I match the bride's makeup to her chest, not necessarily to her neck, but to her chest, because a lot of girls, younger girls, spend more time in the sun than I do. Maybe their body is covered up, but their sun isn't. Their face isn't. So the face is darker than the chest. If I match the foundation to their face, natural skin color, it could be 2 or 3 shades darker than their chest. So most gowns these days are open, not as many strapless lately, but they're open. So there's a lot of skin showing. So if this is a different color than the face, I don't want to match what they have on their face. I want to match what they have on their body.
Yeah.
I think one of the most important things is that in your photos, if your photographer takes 3,000 pictures, 1,000 of those will be of your face and your husband's face. So the top 2 feet, your hair, your face, your shoulders. Your shoes aren't nearly as important as this is. So this needs to be really, there's a lot of preparation to that. You can't just show up and say, okay, do it, without information that I need beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
How should the bride prepare for the hair and makeup trial?
Oh my gosh. The biggest thing for me is to have all the hair on your face that you need removed for the trial run as well as for the wedding. So come to me with your eyebrows freshly waxed. If you do microplaning on your face, like I have some girls that are Greek, young girls even, lots of hair on the face. I personally, at 54 years old, have hair on my face. I shave my face. Girls, shave your face, right? If you need to. If you don't, then that's okay. But some people really need to and they don't know it. So that's kind of scary to say that when they do.
So the makeup doesn't sit on as well?
It's a whole different animal. And there's kind of a haze because we use powders to control shine, and it's just, if the eyebrow is shaped exactly as it's supposed to be for the wedding day, then we get a really true trial run.
Yeah.
Right? So that's important. It's very important to exfoliate and start some kind of a skincare regime 3 months ahead.
Before the trial, before the wedding, or
before
just
the
kind
wedding
of
at least.
Okay.
A lot of girls come to me and they're in the middle of their last year of med school, and they haven't had a wax, a brow shaping, a lip wax, a facial. So their skin is clogged and congested. Okay, I want that skin to be the best canvas I can work on.
Yeah.
So if they don't already have a system, I say, okay, what are you using? And let's start you using an exfoliating, a toner, all of the steps that make the skin the best canvas to start on, so that the makeup goes on cleanly and it's not flaky. Or like if you come here from sea level at a humid climate on Wednesday and your wedding's on Saturday, by Saturday your lips are chapped.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they need to know that.
Yeah.
We're single digit humidity in the summertime here, right? It's dry.
It is dry.
Dry and cracky. So if a girl comes on the wedding day, I have lip mask, I have eye cream, but I can only do so much. So
if it's like all
really
flaky, you can't
totally flaky, and you can't hide it.
Yeah.
I can put Vaseline on and say, okay, now here's a toothbrush, but we're limited. We've only established this much time to get everything done. So really important that they come like fresh prepped face for months ahead of time so that they're glowing.
That's such a good tip. I don't even think of that as a planner, but I'm totally gonna put that on the wedding planning checklist.
It's
for
big.
like 3 months before.
3 months before. Another biggie, a lot of times they'll make appointments with you to do the flowers, the tasting, the venue, the hotel site tour, and they get here and then they call me and say, hey, can you do my hair and makeup today? I'm like, baby girl, that's a 2.5 hour appointment.
Yeah.
You needed to make this appointment when you made all the other appointments. Because typically they come over the weekend to do all those things, and I'm already booked. I've got weddings every weekend almost.
Totally.
And it's really the energy that it takes to do a wedding. I think to do a trial run after that, they don't get me at my best.
Yeah.
It's really...
I actually recommend they do the trial, actually, even when they just book the venue tour.
I agree.
Because then they can do engagement photos. They could look good for the engagement photos.
Yep.
That's something I talked about in the last video.
Yep. A lot of times girls come and it's not a big deal. It's just my husband and I just come to the hotel on Saturday, and I'll do that. But then I don't have the chance to say, okay, why didn't you have your eyebrows waxed? I really wish you could have done this lip mask for the last 3 days. This is a really cool drop for your eyes that whitens them, but I can't let you use mine because now it's contaminated.
Yeah.
So there are so many things that we can do to smoke and mirrors ahead of time to make this day fantastic.
Yeah.
And you spent a year or more, some people, now with, like this year, my 2-day Indian wedding, 2-day wedding, Labor Day, moved to next year. So she's really planning it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So she comes...
That's like all of our weddings, huh?
Yeah. So if she comes next year and didn't have the opportunity to hear me say, I would like you to have, in the last 3 months, done all these things to prep yourself to make this flawless. Dang, what a bummer, right?
Yeah, totally.
So the prep is as critical for them as it is for me. So I know what I'm in for. You know, like if a bride comes with a beautiful Pinterest makeup with all kinds of Pinterest is such a great tool to use to show what we're requesting. And I'm really good with Pinterest. Some hair and makeup people hate pictures. I'm like, no, this is a perfect picture.
Yeah.
I can see. You mean a light brown that's a little bit of a warm tone versus a cool tone. So if they come with a great picture and they've got furry eyebrows that they haven't cleaned up in months, I can only do what I can do. Right? So it's not a true, here's how it's going to look, because there's a lot of hair on the face.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I'm not sure how to say that
delicately.
Good.
That's good to know.
Right?
So if I'm a bride and we do the trial and it went awesome and I want to book you, what information do you need from me in order to book? Do you need anything else?
Even before the trial, I need to know your date, because sometimes I see girls on my schedule for a trial run. I'm like, honey, when's your date? You need to know that I'm available for the wedding before we even
You book up
attempt
so
the trial.
fast.
It's true.
I book you like a year in advance for my clients.
I know. This year it's been so unpredictable. It's not like no other year. So let's hope that this doesn't happen again and that everything else is just pretty smooth. But I will have my assistant send them a contact form that has 20 different questions. The top 2 questions, if I answer the phone, and I try not to because then I'm like, I'm really bad at transferring that information to the sheet where I need to look at everything, and it's all on a spreadsheet and it's all organized because I'm so ADD. The 2 biggest questions: what time are you stepping into your gown, and how many services do you need? So then I can check my schedule and I can see if I need to check my team's schedule. Like, will I need, ideally, even with a big group, I want all the services completed in under 4 or 5 hours. So that means if they're doing both hair and makeup, I may bring 3 or 4 people with me to make sure that they're not getting up at 6 a.m. for 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know, stepping into the gown time.
I'm so glad that you do that, because I've worked with other hair and makeup artists before, and I've had at least on 2 different times where I'm going over the timeline, and like she added like 4 more girls to the hair and makeup, and she's like, and the hair and makeup people are like, yeah, it's just gonna be me, and I'm gonna do hair and makeup for everyone, and I have 10. We're gonna do 10 girls, and we're starting at 9, and we're gonna be done by like noon. And I'm like, I don't think that's gonna work.
No. I would rather have more girls for fewer hours for the bride's comfort level than, let's me and one other girl do 10 people.
Speaking of, what are some timeline tips do you have? Like, how long does it take, and what are some different?
Okay, even if your girl at home can do it up to in 30 minutes, if that's what you need, then you need to bring her, because I can't do it. For these photos and your hair and your look to last 10 hours, I need to prep it. I need to put hot rollers or curling iron, tease it, spray it, texture spray, set it. Then we set the next girl, then we set the next girl, and then we take it out, So in my schedule for myself, I plan an hour per updo per hairstyle and 45 minutes for makeup. So the girls, my team, they don't need an hour for hair on everyone. But sometimes, lately, girls come in, they've got hair to their waist. Some have never had any color. So it's gorgeous. It just means that it's more slippery. Mm-hmm. So it needs more teasing, more product, more spray, more preparation for it to hold for 10 hours. And they can do some in 45 minutes. It just depends on the detail and the style. My focus is really on the bride, and everyone else has, a really good experience, but really the bride is critical for me, right? I'm here to protect my girl. So I like an hour for hair and 45 minutes for makeup. So a million things can make things run late. On that wedding day, you really want to plan ahead and have plenty of time. It's okay if we run early, but I don't want to be the reason you run late, because I didn't know that 3 of these bridesmaids had hair extensions that they were going to carry in their hand.
Well, they're going to come with it wet. They're going to come with their hair wet.
If they're going up, they need to start on wet hair. And if girls show up with wet hair, now it's a blow dry and an updo.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's a blow dry on 2 heads of extensions, which is a 45-minute blow dry. We only planned an hour for your updo to start on dry hair. So it's like, So the information conveyed from me to the bride is pretty crystal clear. From the bride to the girls doesn't always happen.
That's really good to know.
Yeah. So when a girl shows up, when the bridesmaids show up and they say, they said dirty hair, then they can do your hair. Mm-hmm. Because I need your hair clean.
Not like that dirty. Not like a week's worth of...
Yeah, not 5 days dirty.
Yeah.
It needs to be today or yesterday, 1 day dirty, not 5 days. Because they aren't coming today.
Yep.
It's going to be me.
I'll try to be better as a planner too, because like usually the day before I go over the mini wedding timeline with everyone, and I usually tell them exactly like what their hair stylist, makeup artist say. So I'll say, come with like clean, dry hair, moisturized face, something buttoned.
Yes.
Like whatever you want me to tell them, I'll try to tell them the day before at the rehearsal so they know.
Awesome. I'm glad you said that. A really big thing. Some girls come with a button-down shirt. If they can, my preference is a silk robe with no collar.
Good, okay.
Because then the hair just sits on it. If there's a collar, they're going to put the collar up, even if I've tucked it under, because it's uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. If they're in a hotel bathrobe, it's super bulky. I try and tuck that under. They roll that out, and then it can fuzz up the hair because it's going to sit on there. Even if it's an updo, it catches on the back of the updo sometimes. So a silk or satin, something slippery robe is perfect.
I thought they just did that because it looked cute in photos. I didn't even think that it was productive for hair and makeup.
It's and I agree, because it helps me with the finished style.
Nice.
It helps to keep the hair from getting all fuzzy.
What other advice do you have for us?
Well, I think that when people get their veil, they should get a metal comb. It's a lot easier, it's more flexible to use, to slide into the hair, and I can put pins through it, where the plastic combs obviously are more brittle. They're hard to pin because they're thick. So I can put pins through the side to hold it, but if it's a windy day, those pins want to come out because they don't really settle in. So because the metal comb is made from wire, I can easily put pins in it, and it's able to be taken out without destroying the whole style. That's the biggest thing. When it comes out, you can pull all the hair out, and now it doesn't...
What are like the floral combs that sometimes you get?
Oh, good question. The floral combs, I prefer to get flowers from the flowers that are just loose in a plastic box typically, and I will cut them and place them and push them, because sometimes I need a longer stem, because to hide it I have to pull through from another side of the hair, and then I can pin things in. And then sometimes if it's already in a comb, if I can't get it set right up against the head, I haven't, but I could break a flower by pinning the flower where I want it. So it's easier if I can have single flowers and put them in and place them where I want them to be, because sometimes the combs are covered partially with flowers and I can't even get the comb to stay in the hair.
Oh, good to know.
Because too much flour is covering the teeth, and
It's like
heavy, bulky. Sometimes it's too big. Sometimes I want fewer flowers. Sometimes she wants fewer flowers. So really single, just loose flowers are best for me.
Cool.
And it's less work for the florist that way as well.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a biggie.
Anything else?
Oh my gosh. I won't work with coordinators that don't hire wedding planners. I'm sorry. I won't work with brides that don't hire wedding planners.
Oh, good.
It's not... the coordinators, you guys are so underappreciated.
Oh, thank you.
In my opinion. Because when I have done weddings without a coordinator, there's always some emergency. There's a drama. There's a, where is my, oh my God, I can't find my... When the coordinator's there, it's like, well, I have you on speed dial.
Mm-hmm.
All the coordinators in the town. And if anyone comes in, they're in my phone, right?
Yeah.
So if the flowers arrive and the girl's like, oh my God, they're half the size I thought they would be. I send you the text so she doesn't sit there, you know, obsessing and getting crazy. They don't even know.
Yeah.
I send the text to you. I'm not going to find the florist.
You don't have time. You're busy.
Yeah,
it's not your problem.
But I know you, and I can say, she thinks the flowers are too dark, too small, not big enough, not small enough, whatever. But I can subtly send you the message so that you can save the day.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
awesome.
they are happy. I have instances looked up the florist and said, where are our flowers? Our bride. And the florist was like, oh my gosh, I thought it was tomorrow.
No.
That's why you have a coordinator.
Yeah.
Coordinator never thinks the wedding was tomorrow.
No.
Everyone's on the same page. And that was just this summer happened.
Wow, that's bad.
I was like, oh my God.
Wow,
That's a
bad.
big,
it's a big mistake.
luckily, she said, your flowers are prepared. I just thought I was going to bring them tomorrow.
Oh, good thing she had them done.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So that
good.
was
It's
lucky.
good to know. I'm glad that you like working with wedding planners.
Only. Yeah, only. Because it just makes the day seamless for them. And for me.
Awesome. Yeah.
You know, it makes my life so much easier because, first of all, they're someone who appreciates the wherewithal that we have to make a wedding happen.
Mm-hmm. All on the same page.
Nothing is simple.
Everything
with the
will be on
wedding.
time.
There are layers and layers of prepare. You know, you have to prepare. You know.
Yeah.
I can't even, like, it would be stupid for me to say why they need you.
Yeah. Thank you.
But I have sat there, like, fuming almost with a bride going, and said to a bride once, you're going to see tomorrow exactly why you needed to spend that $10,000 on that girl that you thought wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
And the next day I'm like, so if you'd hired Stephanie, this wouldn't be happening right now. If you'd hired Stephanie, you would know where your stockings are. If you'd hired Stephanie, you wouldn't be asking where's your photographer, because Stephanie would be calling your photographer.
Yep.
Right?
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh my gosh, it makes it night and day. I won't even do a wedding that doesn't have a coordinator.
I can't believe people do have weddings without like a wedding planner.
Well, sometimes it's budget, and sometimes they just don't appreciate what you do.
Yeah. They don't know they don't know they need it until later.
Yeah.
What other services do you provide?
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I'm doing now spray tanning. So it's custom airbrush tanning, and the formulas are gorgeous. So it used to be orange. No.
Like one size fits all, like one
size
shape fits all.
and everyone looks orange, and you know it, and you smell it, right?
Oh yeah.
Right?
The new ones don't stink?
Guys hate that smell. They talk about it all the time. Guys hate the smell of a spray
stinks.
tan. Stinks. So the new ones come in either a green or violet base, depending on if you're one of 4 different skin types. So pink freckle face girls are DHA resistant, so they don't get they don't get tan in the sun naturally. They burn and peel, never get dark. So that's a type 1. A type 2 is someone who sometimes, but really doesn't get any sun, freckles and burns, darker skin, darker hair color, not so pale, not so fair. And then there's someone who probably, like yourself, you probably really get tan naturally in the sun, right? So you're not DHA resistant, because DHA is what tans your skin.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm DHA resistant, so I went out for the first 30 years and burned my skin and fried it, and now I don't at all. So this is an airbrush tan that my boyfriend actually
Looks
did on me.
good.
Isn't it funny?
It looks really good.
I love it. So, and then there's so the level 3 and 4s are the fairer skin or a green base. The darker skin use actually a violet base, and it's velvety and beautiful.
What would mine be like? Violet?
You would be probably either a combination of green and violet or just violet.
Cool.
And mine is, I did the combination because I'm testing out these new formulas to see how they look on different natural skin tones.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a combination of green and violet last night.
It's really good.
And I'm thrilled with it. I'm really pleased. And there's no fragrance, right?
I don't smell anything.
So to that, I can add sparkle not like glitter, but
Shimmer?
a shimmer, either an opalescent, a gold, or I can also add CBD, so it's an anti-aging, and also for general wellness, calming aspect to it. And there's one formula that is slimming, so it's slimming for the first 24 hours, and then it just kind of decreases gradually, but they last between 7 and 10 days, where that never happened before. And I've got a great line of products that you can use for preliminary to get your skin a pH balance, and then hydrate, moisturize, and keep the tan going with mousses or self tanners over the next couple weeks. I even have one, so if someone were to come in and say they had a tan 6 days ago, but it's not really gone, and they want a new tan because the wedding is coming up, I've got a tan remover that we can take off the last tan with a mitt that really exfoliates it so that their skin is prepped and doesn't start to fade weird or peel weird or crackle, because sometimes, and because it's so dry here, as your tan starts to fade, it cracks and looks weird.
Okay.
If you're me. People that hydrate all the time, that doesn't happen to. So all kinds of products to support an airbrush tan, and I recommend.
Can you move? Can you go to the hotel with it?
It's small, like a hairdryer. It's a small little gun, and I have 6 or 7 different solutions I can mix up depending. So like if we had 10 girls, all from one, like as white as a sheet to dark brown, I have a formula for everyone.
Because you do everybody. That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I recommend doing that 2 days before the wedding.
Okay.
It's neat.
At least 2 days.
At least 2 days. Not the day of and not the day before, if possible. But I have a light one. If it turns out that they need to do it on a Friday for a Saturday wedding, I do have a lighter color that I can use, and just use one light spray, light coat, and they'll be fine for the next day. And these days it comes out of the gown. If you got any color on your gown, or if it stains on the sheets, it comes out. It's not like the old school where it's ruined, right? Mm-hmm. Then my newest, latest, greatest, wonderful machine is called a Cryo 1 Celine. So it helps to remove fat permanently. So if we have a bride or a mother of a bride or anyone, you're guaranteed to lose an inch of permanent fat in your first treatment. And I measure instantly.
Wow.
It's a 45-minute session. So I measure before and after, and we take photos instantly. Smaller an inch, guaranteed by this company.
That is so great for weddings.
I know. So it's the science of Cool Sculpt. So it freezes the fat cells, and as the water in the fat cell freezes, it expands, breaking the fat cell membrane, shattering it a little bit, and then warming again at the end. So then once that cell is damaged, it starts to die, and it goes out through your lymphatic system. So it really takes 10 days to 12 days for it to remove completely, but it's an instant result.
It's like if I'm a bride and I can't close my dress because I'm just like a cup, like an inch away.
Yep. We could do
you could fix it?
Front and back session in one appointment, where it wasn't safe back, when this technology first came out. You couldn't do 2 sections on a body if one were the abdomen on the same day, because it's just too much toxins released into your system. So this device has a lymphatic system and lymphatic drainage setting that I can safely do a front and a back on a person closer than the 2 weeks apart. So if someone were here for a week, we could really do safely 3 treatments in 1 week with that lymphatic drainage in the middle.
That's cool.
Isn't that amazing?
That is awesome.
Yeah. Because I've been at weddings where I've put in the veil, I'm wrapping up or cleaning up, and they're like, oh my God, the button just popped, or the zipper just popped, or a lot of people lose weight, some people put on weight when it's a stressful time.
Yeah.
And everyone's different. But wow, to have this flexibility, to know that if you're that close, you can get there easily.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So I do a bridal package with that, and it's if you purchase 4, you get 1 free. So let's say the bridesmaids get 4 sessions, the bride gets hers complimentary, or the mother is more. What's happened more is the mother does her own and her girlfriend's sessions, and the bride gets her treatment free.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah, that's awesome. I love it.
And I also offer hair extensions, and I can create a little donut with certain accessories. So if someone has hair that, often what happens is a girl gets proposed to after she cuts her hair and didn't realize he was going to ask, wouldn't have cut her hair, always envisioned her hair long in her wedding, and even if it's been 8 months of prep, it's not as long as she wants. So I'm a master with wigs and extensions and extra hair and additions and smoke and mirrors.
How do you need to do that by the trial? Do you have to know that, or do you
Not
need
necessarily.
to? That's cool.
Sometimes at the trial, I'll say, you know what? I think that you need either longer hair to create this look, or just even a little donut in there.
So a little bit more.
Yeah, just to add some more volume, because sometimes, depending on the person's face shape, they want to see some hair from the front.
Mm-hmm.
From their chignon, you know, the back of the hair, they want it to show in the front a little bit. And if the hair's too short or too fine, we can't make it wide enough to show from the front.
Yeah.
Or it's too small of a bun in the back, and they want it to be a little bit more defined, a little bit more voluminous. Or if we put it up, now we've lost too much length, and now we lose volume in the top because the hair was too short to pull and make something bigger.
Yeah.
So I can add extensions. Or plus, and smoke and mirrors.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so honored that you would ask me to do this.
I'm honored you wanted to be here with me and do it together.
Yeah, I think it's really neat that you're doing all this great marketing and all the different platforms. It's a really smart thing to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, everyone, thank you for watching. I'm going to link all of Kacee's information below. And I hope you thought this video was helpful. If you liked it, please subscribe. We'll see you next time. Bye!